communication is the real skill to negotiation. If you struggle to communicate with people, the only person you're ever going to really deal with is going to be a professional agent. In our market, where we're buying from people who have to sell, so they're a motivated seller, there's a lot of emotion involved, there's a lot of empathy, you've got to understand someone else's situation. And if you can't communicate, you're never going to be able to do that. So the idea of the networking here is the ability to talk during the breaks, talk around the table, meet people in the coffee house, and be able to just strike up a conversation with someone you've never met before. And obviously this is a very safe environment. Nobody's going to get upset by the fact you want to talk to them. You can test out your skills of chitter-chatter, if you like, rather than risking it in a house. So you're doing it here first, cutting your teeth, and then as you get better and better at it, it gives you the confidence to go and talk to Mr. and Mrs. Jones. And once you've built that relationship, ask them the genuine question. I'm looking to buy, you're looking to sell. Really, what's the bottom line? What's the reason for you selling, and how can we make this deal happen? Okay, so before we can start stacking, we obviously need to understand the properties that we're going to go and look at. So how many areas do we work with? Three. Why? We offer a continuous program to help and support and mentor people on an individual basis, as well as doing it as a group. People who join us tend to get very motivated very quickly, and then life gets in their way. And then we find they're up here, and then gradually they do this. So by offering one of these events each month, it encourages you back at your own pace. So you got busy after the initial workshop for 3 months, life got in the way. Now you think, oh, I've done nothing. You come back, you see us again. Hopefully we re-motivate you, we re-inspire you, and then next week you start all over again. So, 3 areas, how many properties per area as a minimum must you stack up? 100. So that's 300 properties in your stacking sheet. Who's got that, just out of interest? And then what we tend to find is it becomes a rolling program. You've enjoyed today, so you come back. Instead of 3 or 4 months later, you come back in a couple of months. You really enjoy that day, and then you tend to find yourself coming on a regular basis. And the idea of that is you're constantly being motivated to do something between today's date and next month's date. So it means that you're being held accountable, and that tends to make you actually buy that house. It is so important that you do this every day. It just becomes a habit then. Yeah? Don't rely on everybody else to do the work for you. Yeah? You've got to get on with it. You've got to be doing this. If you're doing this every day, it takes you about 20 minutes. Who's got 20 minutes? Okay, so we've got 3 areas. We've got 300 properties stacked. How many minimums should we go and view in each area? 10. So we go out and we view 10 properties in each area. It doesn't matter whether you can afford to buy that property. The key is to understand what's out there. There's a saying, if something looks too good to be true, it is. And the unfortunate thing about our industry is most people make it look like there's no work required, there's no money, is one of the terminologies that people use out there. I've been in the property game for 29 years, and I've never ever bought a property without any money. The difference is that I'm using a bank's money, I'm using a loan, I'm using other people's money, which is what we talk about, not about you being able to buy a property without any money. We recommend buying the traditional way, putting your money in, buying property with good, genuine market value now, making genuine cash flow on a month-by-month basis, with some rules connected to it, enabling you to release your money as and when you can, determined by the market, enabling you to buy more and more property. Okay, so without a demand report, how the hell are you stacking? It's impossible, isn't it? Because you don't have the figures. You don't know who your market is, even. You don't know who the prospective tenant is. You don't know if it's a holiday let, a single let, a multi-let, a HMO. You don't know what type of property that you should even be looking at because you've done no market research. So where we're going to start this morning is creating your demand report.
I did the course 7 years ago, and I came off the course, went to start to do all of the looking for properties and stacking of properties, see if deals that would work and so on. And eventually I found a deal on the internet. It was quite crazy because it was only just a sketch. It was nothing more than an artist's impression of the property, which turned out to be a 4-bedroomed detached house set behind electric gates and so on. And I rang up the developer and said I was interested in the property, and I'd spent about 3 months looking at various other deals and so on. And I agreed to go and see the property and struck a deal with them whereby I think I got £115,000 off the price of the property. Got the developer to pay for all of the landscaping costs, all of the carpeting and fixtures in the house, white goods, etc. They did all of that. Structured the deal insofar as the price of the property I ended up paying was $460,000. The developer paid the deposit, which was over £89,000. They paid all the legal fees, the stamp duty, and I basically ended up with a cash flow of £6,000 of positive cash flow coming back into my account at the end of that deal. So I actually got paid to buy the house. Staggering.
Whole idea is for negotiation to be a win-win situation. You have a reason for selling, you're happy to explain that reason to me, I have a reason for buying, and we work out a deal between us that works for both parties. Okay, so it's about understanding the area. So you need to build the area out. You go and view your 30 properties, which starts to give you a feel. They might not even be a property that you're ever going to consider putting an offer in. They're in the wrong area, the wrong demographic, they're the wrong type of house. Whatever it might be, that's not important. The important is that you understand and you take records, notes of that information. Okay? And the lovely thing about our job is that once we do it, all we've got to do each week is tweak it. So your portfolio of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 houses is built on around 4 hours a week of work. Yeah? So if you had 100 properties currently in the current climate, working with our lowest denomination of £300 positive income per month, how much would you be earning per month after all your bills? 30 grand a month after bills. All you've got to do is follow 25 pages in 3 areas. Stack up 300 properties, 100 in each area. View 30 properties. Stack tweak. Hard work at the beginning, I don't dispute that. Yeah? Your first year of doing this is tough. But once you've got it, it just rolls. And it just keeps rolling. Any other questions?
After the course, you're going back to your work and your everyday duties, and then it just, yeah, lots of things were reminded, very important things.
If you've lost interest, go back there and you sort of be motivated again.
At the moment I'm getting to know them a bit more because I've been there with them for just since January. I think I'm definitely going to invest, but I want to invest in a market where I have a better knowledge, which is more like a local market for me. But I definitely will, yeah.
I've actually started coming since last January, and I've not missed one except for the one from last month. And I really love coming here because of the people, the motivation, of course Matthew and Helen, Jason, you know, they're really great. So it works quite well.